Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Rainmaking Time. This is Kim Greenhouse. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Gary Dunn. He is the founder of a wonderful newsletter and site called the Caretaker Gazette at caretaker.org. Now, Gary does something very unusual. He provides a unique newsletter that contains property, caretaking, and house-sitting jobs, advice and information for property caretakers, house-sitters, and landowners. And he's published this since 1983, and it's the only publication in the world dedicated to the property and caretaking field. For those of you in global systemic transition and life transitions, this could be a fabulous opportunity for you. And I just think he's doing something very unusual that allows people to leave what they're doing, to try something different, to do something responsible, but to take the pressure off and also travel the world. Welcome, Gary Dunn, to It's Rainmaking Time. Good day.
Good day, Kim. Thanks for having me on.
Talk a little bit about how the Caretaker Gazette was inspired.
Well, there's always been a need out there, and for years, and even today, a lot of people connect with the property owner. Caretakers and house sitters and property owners connect via word of mouth. And so we practice what we preach. My wife and I have been caretakers on and off for decades. And prior to the Caretaker Gazette, it was pretty much you had to be in the right place at the right time to learn of a caretaking situation via word of mouth. Talk to a property owner, someone who knows a property owner who has a need for someone to live in their empty home somewhere. And we did grab a few situations like that back in the 70s and 80s. But again, you just had to be in the right place at the right time via that word of mouth for that to work. So we knew there was a need. There are empty homes in all 50 states and foreign countries. There will, for various reasons of inheritance and spec homes or wealthy people having too many homes to live in, there will always be empty homes all over the world. And unfortunately, a lot of the property owners who have an empty home learn the hard way that if they leave their home vacant for an extended period of time, they're going to run into theft, vandalism, or maintenance problems with their empty home. So there's always been that need, and there's always been people like my wife and myself who would love to live rent-free as a property caretaker someplace. So because we had been practicing what we preach, we knew there was a need. We knew there was a need, but there was no way to service that need. There had to be a better way than just word of mouth, or sometimes years ago we used to look through classified ads in the newspapers, but we're not very successful in finding a caretaker wanted ad in classified newspaper ads. So there had to be a better way, and that better way has been called now the Caretaker Gazette since 1983, and the whole purpose of the Caretaker Gazette is to help the property owners and potential property caretakers find one another through either the pages, because we're still in print, of the Caretaker Gazette, or online at caretaker.org, where our subscribers can log in and view all the property owner listings and then connect directly with the property owners who are looking to find people to live in one of their empty homes somewhere.
Isn't there a bigger supply of people who are caretakers than there is a supply of homes and properties to care for?
In some cases, yes. Like a perfect example, Kim, is we just received a new property listing in the Bahamas, and the property owner is looking for someone to live rent-free in their beautiful home in the Bahamas from January through April. Now, I know a lot of people in Minnesota and North Dakota who wouldn't mind living rent-free on a Bahamas island from January through April of next year. Now, on the other hand, so that listing in the Caretaker Gazette, that property owner, I'm sure, is going to get a lot of applicants. We have heard on the other extreme say someone in the opposite direction in North Dakota, if they need a property caretaker to live in their home starting in January of any year in North Dakota, well, we've heard from some property owners that they get very few, if any, responses because maybe there's not too many people that want to go to North Dakota in January.
I'm sure it's freezing, but
I
see what you mean.
To answer your question, Kim, it really depends on the situation. Sometimes we get short-term situations where it's only a week or two when someone goes on vacation, and some potential property caretakers, they don't want to pick up and move just for a week or two. They're looking for a long-term assignment. And then we have school teachers, as an example, who use the Gazette, and maybe they only want to use the rent-free living opportunities in the summertime, and we get some long-term positions that could last for years. So those school teachers aren't even going to bother responding to someone who has a long-term assignment. So it depends on each situation is going to be unique.
Do the caretakers have to be bonded? How does it work in terms of the detail?
Again, that's up to the individual property owner. Some will do a thorough background and security check. They'll ask for checkable references. They'll do all kind of screening and due diligence. And we've heard from some others that they do everything on a handshake. If they feel that the applicant's going to be trustworthy and reliable, and if they give the property owner some references, and the property owner will call the references, and the references seem to check out, and they feel comfortable and they feel they can trust the applicant, we've heard of some of these situations being done on the handshake.
Wow, that's really nice. I would imagine the high-quality people that come in, you can do that, but I imagine there's a whole section of people who will do background checks as well.
Well, yeah, there's a whole group of folks that, particularly the wealthy, who have numerous homes and they do everything by contract and in writing. They'll have a prepared or written contract with all the duties, responsibilities, all the nitty-gritty details, all in writing. So this way, and these are the long-term situations for multimillionaires. These people own homes, vehicles, companies, etc. So they're used to doing everything in writing, and they do all the kind of background and security checks and all the right due diligence, and then they put it all in writing into a contract, and both parties sign the contract so that if it is a long-term situation, and if one of the responsibilities is, in the summertime to cut the lawn once a week, and the property owners show up one year and see the lawn hasn't been cut, well, then there's no excuse. If you have that in writing and both of you sign it, and one of the stipulations is that the lawn must be cut in the summers or the snow shoveled in the wintertime, well, then there's really no excuses if those duties and responsibilities aren't completed.
Talk to me about the profile. Why wouldn't a property owner just hire somebody?
Well, there's some that will go ahead and use. There's some employment agencies that advertise. Again, this is usually for the celebrity crowd, and we have some celebrities and very famous names, the kind of people who have too many homes to live in, who do use the Caretaker Gazette.
Are you at liberty to disclose that?
No, because of all these privacy laws, and also we get a lot of calls, each year from someone who says, I work for a famous person, and they have given me the responsibility to take out a subscription and start advertising because my celebrity boss just bought another home off the internet this weekend, and they're going to use it 1 weekend a year, and we just found your website, caretaker.org, and so my boss told me to order a subscription in my name. We've had some of our subscribers tell us they've interviewed with some very famous, well-known celebrities, and we